Yo, what's up guys? My name is Eric from Tech Inform. Well, actually, I'm not from Tech Inform anymore, but my name still is Eric. Anyway, though, on today's video, we'll be talking about Google, because Google announced a few new things on October 29th or something, which was kind of a while ago. Sorry to make a video of it. That's because I lost power because of Hurricane Sandy. Anyway, though, let's get into the video. So on October 29th, just about a month ago, Google was going to hold an event releasing a few new products, but Google canceled the actual event because of Hurricane Sandy. Even though they canceled the event, they still released a few new products. So let me talk about them. So first, Google updated the Nexus 7. Now, Google really did nothing with the Nexus 7 besides change the configurations. Now, for $200, you can get the Nexus 7, the 16GB model, and for $250, you can get the 32GB model. And if you want to go up to $300, you can get a 32GB Nexus 7 with 3G. Yes, unfortunately, it is only 3G on AT&T's HSPA Plus network. Next, let's talk about the Nexus 4, which is Google's new Nexus phone. Now, this Nexus device is made by LG, which is a new brand to start making Nexus devices. And of course, this phone has the latest and greatest stuff inside of it. It has a 4.7-inch screen, which is actually higher resolution than the iPhone at 320 ppi. This phone will also have 2GB of RAM, and for the CPU, it'll have a Snapdragon S4 chip, which is very, very fast. I think it might be even faster than the iPhone, but not 100% sure. Now, the phone in a way is kind of like an iPhone, meaning that you can't take it apart, like the battery cover doesn't pop off. It's all one thing, which does make it thinner, but also you can't really get into it and change the battery if you really want to. That doesn't bother me, but it may bother some other people. And just throwing this out there, there is a 8-megapixel camera on the back and a 1.3-megapixel camera on the front. Now, before we get into the pricings and the configurations, I will say that this is running Jelly Bean 3.2, which Jelly Bean 3.2 is actually a little bit of an upgrade. Now, Jelly Bean 4.2 does have some new things, like lock screen widgets and quick settings. And also, you can have multiple users if you have a tablet for Jelly Bean 4.2. Google also updated the Mail app, which is found in Jelly Bean. There's also updates to Google Now, which is basically the competitor for Siri, and well, I think Google Now is kicking Siri's butt. And finally, there are updates to the Camera app, which is found in Android. Now, of course, there are tons of more updates and features and stuff like that, but I'm not going to go into that much right now because, well, I don't even have a device to show you it on. Okay, now let's get back to the Nexus 4. Now, unfortunately, the Nexus 4 is only available for AT&T, at least in the US. Now, I've seen some ways you can hack the Nexus 4, maybe, I don't know, but really, it's only made for AT&T on the HSPA Plus network. And now let's talk about the pricing of the Nexus 4. Now, for $300, you can get the 8GB model off contract. Yes, all the phones, at least the Nexus 4, is all off contract, which is very, very nice, especially for the price. And for $350, you can get the 16GB model, which still is a great price. Now, unfortunately, there is no higher configuration, but maybe they'll come out with higher configurations in the future. Maybe not, whatever. It still is great pricing for what you get off contract. So now let's move on to the Nexus 10, which, yes, it is a 10-inch tablet. Now, this 10-inch screen has a resolution of 2560 by 1600, but it only is at 300 ppi, which does not make it exactly better than the iPad screen, but it still is an amazing screen nonetheless. Now, the CPU in this tablet is some dual-core ARM processor, and the GPU, I'm not even going to try to figure out what the GPU is. It says on the website, I'm too lazy to check. But after seeing some tests, it looks like the CPU performs better than the iPad, but the GPU on the iPad is still better. But nonetheless, you should get really good performance on this tablet. Now, this tablet has a 5-megapixel camera on the back and a 1.9-megapixel camera on the front, and there also is stereo speakers, which the sound quality and how loud they get should be a lot better than, say, an iPad, because they're directed exactly at your face. This tablet's running Android Jelly Bean 4.2, obviously, and it has 2GB of RAM, just like the Nexus 4. Now, talking about configurations, for the 16GB model, it is $399, and for the 32GB model, it's $499. And unfortunately, there is no 3G or 4G model, but maybe they'll come out with it in the future. So yeah, that's really all Google announced. Now, Now it looks like Jelly Bean 4.2 definitely is a good upgrade, though I don't have any Android devices, so I don't entirely know, so I'm not going to throw in my input about Jelly Bean. Now I like that the pricing came down for the Nexus 7, at least for what you get it at, and I do like there is now a 3G model, though I wish there was 4G in the future. And I also wish that the Nexus 10 will get 3G/4G in the future. Though quickly talking about the Nexus 10, I'm not entirely sure if I like the design of it. It kind of seems way too rounded on the side. But hey, I haven't actually played with it in person, so I'm not exactly sure. All I've seen is the pictures on the Play Store. So anyway, that is the video for today. Please tell me in the comment section below, what do you think about these devices? Will you be getting them? Just give me all the feedback down below. Also hit the subscribe button up there, comment and like and do sharing and all that stuff down below. Anyway though guys, my name is Eric and I'm signing out.